All right. Okay. That's great to see so many people from across the globe joining us today. And we'll give one more minute for people to hop into the workshop, right? And then we will start. Okay. Okay. I hope my screen is visible and just give me thumbs up if it is all clear and well to all of you. All right. I see a lot of thumbs up. Thank you so much. I can't sense the energy. Maybe some people can get on camera to start off with, and then maybe end of the session, we can all click a good selfie for all of us as a remembrance for this date. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's start. Good morning, namaste, sat sri akal, and everyone from in all the words that I can welcome you all, right? I hope all of you can hear me clearly, right? I see so many of you joining from across the India and some people also from outside India. So, and some of you even joining from abroad. Welcome to all of you. And I want to say something before we do anything else. The fact that you showed up today, means a lot on a Sunday, 12 p.m. India time or any other part of the world, whatever time it is happening, right? So it tells me something about you, you know. So you're not done with surface level. You want something real, and hence you are here, right? And this is exactly what the next 45 to 60 minutes and the next 7 days are going to give you, right? So take a deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be, okay? Because as we see, next 7 days, we're going to just build momentum, right? Some people want to manifest fast. Some people are getting clear about what they want to manifest. So there are different people coming from different backgrounds. So we'll take that, in a calculative manner so that hum sab, we take something back from this workshop today, right? Okay. All right. So let me introduce myself, not the bio version, rather the real version. So my name is Gagandeep Sidhu. Most of you know me as Lifecoach Gagan. Some of you know me as Vitamin G. I have been coaching for almost 10 years. 5,000 plus clients, one to one I have worked, and then 200 plus corporate keynotes that I've done. I'm also a TEDx and a TEDx speaker, two times TEDx speaker, and also featured in various, international platforms, Joe Stocks, Times of India, Fox Interviewer. So, but none of that is why I'm here today. I'm here because of what happened in 2015. Okay, so I was I was doing well in corporate as an AVP in operations. 15 years into the career, that looked perfect from outside, right? Good salary, good title. People respected me professionally, but I was completely empty inside. Why? Because I was going through a phase in my life where, running after money was the only thing that I was doing. I was completely shattered with my relationships, my health, and so many other factors that we can think about, right? And that's where I felt completely empty inside. And this is the real reason. That is the real reason, I do what I do, not the credentials, not the ego boosting titles, right? The transformation I lived through myself, and that's where I decided that there might be thousands of Gagans or lakhs of Gagans, right? I was in depression for 2 years. So when I came out of depression, then I realized I was in depression, right? Because it is no different. So that's where my journey started. I started learning about law of attraction, subconscious mind, and started changing my own patterns. First of all, becoming aware, identifying my patterns, identifying my subconscious mind beliefs, because there was no curriculum in the school that was taught to us to make sure that we can be part of, this life skills that are best for us, right? And that is the real reason I do what I do, because to help maybe those 2000 Gagans who can fulfill the journey of depression or getting through something in 6 months instead of 2 years, which I took. So I live the transformation through myself, right? And we will go deeper into that story in a few minutes. But first, I want to understand, you know, who is in this room, right? I like you dropped your name, city in the chat right now. People who are joining it, they can keep adding. So, and I want to read through that, because I want to tell this to you, because look at this community, right? Every one of you have made a choice to be here today, right? You made a choice to be here today. This form, you know uh, this actually means a lot to me and for yourself, because you registered for the workshop, you showed the commitment, and I know that there's people, the 150 plus people who signed up. Some people will look for recording, but you showing up today is a good sign that you're already one step ahead of others who are dreaming of becoming something, and you're already doing that you're meant to do, right? Okay. So moving forward, right? It is what I have manifested, because this is a question that I get from most of the people, that, you know, um, in a way, that how you can also make those small changes and make the best out of your life in a way, right? Right. So before I teach you anything, let me show you that that this actually works. Because I'm not going to ask you to trust the law of attraction based on a book or on a YouTube video or something that will help you make the best out of it. But, or somebody told you, oh, let me try these affirmations, let me do this. It's not about that. It's about, I am going to show you what I have personally manifested, what were the challenges, what worked well for me, what did not work well for me. So you have the person teaching you who has lived this for last 10 years. And the reason it all works out so simply is because there are ways that you can manifest, and you don't have to work hard. Usually people think, doing more practices will help us, manifest faster. No, it's not like that, right? So since I told you that I am a TEDx speaker, how did that journey come through? I remember in 2017 or 2018, I attended a TEDx event. Okay. I was sitting in the audience and I watched the speakers walk onto the stage, and something happened in my chest. I'll be very honest. I still can recall that moment. And something happened in my chest, and I said to myself, you know, I did not hope. Did not hope. I did not wish. I said to myself, I will be on that stage. I don't know what energy was that and what triggered me. So it was about not one day, not maybe, I will be on that stage. That is the difference. A hope stays in your head, right? We all hope tomorrow will be better, things will get better, right? But a decision lands in your body, in your nervous system. And believe me, I spoke at TEDx twice. Me being an introvert for 30 years of my life, I had to change the identity, the way I spoke about myself, the way I was expressing. So having that goal, I will be on that stage, that statement changed everything inside me, right? And here is how I did it, you know. So maybe I used a password technique. Maybe some of you want to write it down, right? So, in 2016, 1 year before the TEDx event, I changed my computer password, 2018, yeah, when I started manifesting it, right? I changed my computer password. Usually in offices, we have to keep our random passwords, right? And you have to change it every month. So I kept my password as TEDx speaker _ 2020. Okay. So you can use this too. And you can use this for anything that you want to actually utilize for, right? So I type that password 10 to 15 times every single day. 10 to 15 times every login was not a hope, right? It was a declaration. It was an identity. I did not become a TEDx speaker and then believe it. I believed it and then I became it. Okay. So I believed and then I became. And you have to also start believing. And we'll talk about in next 7 days that how you can, focus on believing more, right? Because this sequence is everything. Okay. Because you will not become somebody and then believe it. You have to believe and then become. Okay. This sequence is everything. Maybe you all are writing it down. So that will help you. Okay. So what you do not attract what you want. Everybody is wanting to have a car, a partner, a good job. So it is not about wanting, you attract what you are. I'm sure you have heard this by many coaches, many speakers on Instagram Reels or on YouTube video. You know, you do not attract what you want, you become what you are. But how do we apply this, Gagan? So hold on. We have these 7, 8 days. Keep that patience with yourself. Let's not jump the gun. Let's not just step into the next stage of it. Let's be in the present moment. Okay. So that's how the TEDx journey started and attracted what I became. Okay. And also, as you see, I have so many people talk about manifesting love, right? And that's the another beautiful aspects of using law of attraction. And maybe I realized it later in the life, right? Let me tell you one more story. Before I met my wife Diksha, I wrote a list, not a physical description, not what she should look like, but rather who she should be. I wrote 25 qualities and characteristics, specific ones, real ones, which would align with my way of living, right? Her values, her energy, her relationship with her family, and you know, how she would make me feel in a room, right? And she matched almost 21 or 23 out of the 25, characteristics or things I wrote about her. That too, the two did not match actually. I realize now I did not actually need them, right? So LOA, law of attraction, does not just give you what you ask for. It gives you what you are ready to receive. You know, I I share all of this with you not to impress you that I'm a wonderful coach. No, I share it so the person teaching you has lived what he teaches, right? And it's about how complex things are at times because we're trying to achieve what we want to in our life, but sometimes we get stuck in basic things, right? So you tell me something in the comments that has anyone here ever had a moment you wanted something so badly, you just knew it would happen and it did. Just drop a heart in the chat, you don't have to explain, right? you know And if anybody wants to share, have any one of you has ever had a moment where you wanted something badly, you just knew that it would happen and it did happen, right? So drop a heart or something which affirms. Okay, I see few people have had this feeling and moment in the day. Okay, wonderful. Yes, I would rather like hearts than yes, because that brings in more harmony with this group as we are there, right? Okay. So at the same time, I was also working on my own identity shift. So before manifesting my partner, before she walked into my life, I also was working on my identity shift. Because of course, you all say that I had trust issues, I had bad experiences with people, and we keep on carrying them, right? हमारे में से कितने सारे लोग बोलते हैं आई हैव ट्रस्ट इश्यूज, मेरे को ट्रस्ट इश्यूज हैं लाइफ में, बट you're carrying that in the future also. So I also had to work on my own self to become that person before she walked in. Okay. All right. With that, let's move forward. Okay. I have a one question for all of you. Now, before we go anywhere, right? I want to ask you one question. Look, as you look at the screen, right? Tell me which one is you. Very simple. Just drop the letter in the chat A, B, C, D. Which one is you? You know, A, for example, you have made vision boards, made them very beautifully, put them on your wall, and nothing really changed. That's number A. Okay, maybe you want to listen to all of them, right? And B, maybe you have said affirmations so many times, every morning in the mirror, filled your diaries, and it felt hollow or fake, or forced, forced way of doing affirmation, right? Or number three, the C option is you read the book The Secret, because it was so trending. You saw a reel, you read the book maybe multiple times, and you're still in the same situation, right? And number D, you are completely new to law of attraction. This is your first time. You have no idea what grabaway codes are yet. And drop me a letter. I want to, first of all, I want to understand the audience that we have. I see a lot of ABCs, ABC. So many of us have tried so many methods, I'm sure. A and C, C, okay. Look at that. If you said A, B, or C, you are not alone. Honestly, you're not alone. That is 90% of people who try law of attraction. And you believe me, by day 7, every single one of you will understand exactly why it has not worked for you. Okay? Because you have to first of all find out why is it not working, right? By day 7, you would learn that, right? And what to do instead of, complaining it is not working. Okay. And if you said D, you are actually the lucky ones. And why I say that is because I am going to teach you correctly from the start. Okay. No, there are no bad habits to unlearn or bad patterns to unlearn in this case. Okay. So that's what we are doing that. So whatever your answer is, okay, you are in the right place. And I'm glad you are here right now. Okay. Yes. Wonderful. Now let me just tell you, the full story about me. I came to Delhi in 2005 to become a chartered accountant. I was a CA finalist, and I remember staying in Lakshmi Nagar for in a 4 by 5, 10 by 10 room with sharing with two more people. I came with good hopes to this city of opportunities, but we had financial crisis. I could not pay the fees of my final, I think, direct taxes classes, which used to happen on Jhandewala. And that was the first rejection ever I had in my life, apart from personal things, right? From a career perspective. So that's where my journey started into a corporate. I started working with somebody else that I'm away from home, have to, take care of my expenses. But that rejection shook me, but it redirected me in a direction where I am right now. If I would have become a chartered accountant, maybe I would have earned, a similar amount of money. But the respect and love and all these beautiful messages on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp that I get may not have got that, right. So today I have a beautiful family, and in fact today morning we just hit 140K Instagram family. So kudos to all of you. Thank you for all the support. And coming back to while I was drawing the corporate ladder, कि शायद इतना पैसा होगा तो ऐसा लगेगा. We all have those goals, right. एक बार AM असिस्टेंट मैनेजर बन जाऊंगा, रीजनल मैनेजर बन जाऊंगा तो अच्छी हो जाएगी लाइफ, या vice president ban jaunga, director, any designation that you're chasing, right? Because that's what we have been told since childhood, right? And while I was crossing all those hurdles of corporate ladder, and I became an AVP, right? Uh, at a company that most people in the country would recognize, and those 15 years of building that career, good salary, good title, good reputation, and I remember sitting at my desk one evening, looking out of the window and thinking, is this it? Is this what I want actually from my life? I had everything I thought I wanted at that point of time, right? And I felt nothing. So I started looking. I started looking inside. I was looking outside. I started looking inside. The way people look when they are desperate, motivational books, self-help, seminars, positive thinking, goal setting, affirmations in the mirror every morning. You tell any law of attraction technique or subconscious mind reframing technique, I did all of that for almost 1.5 years. But I was still stuck. And then I found something really different. Not a book. It was not a book. It was not a YouTube channel. It was a realization. You know, the realization of that everything I had been doing till that point in time in my life, every affirmation, every vision board, was trying to change my circumstances. Okay, but my subconscious mind was still running the same program it had been running, since before even I turned 7. You know, and a program will beat a strategy every single time. And believe me or not, most of us have been programmed by the age of 7 with the external circumstances, the words you listen to your family, in your school, in your surrounding, the society you live in. That shapes up your subconscious mind. And and of course, that's not fault of yours, right? So, and we can change that, but that would take time, right? And that's the reason programming beats strategy. Even if you have the best strategy, if your programming in your subconscious mind is about lack, you may not be able to, get into the abundance mode. So in my case, it was never about wanting more. It was about what I believed I deserved. Honestly, okay. I It was about believe that what I deserve. It was all about when I changed that belief that I don't want more. I what I deserve. When I changed that belief, not my goals, not my strategy, not my vision board, but the deep subconscious mind belief about what I was worth of receiving, what I was worthy of receiving. And believe me, everything changed. The clarity, the income, the relationships, the direction. And since that point in time from 2015 or 2017, I have helped 5,000 plus people that make the same shift one to one, and of course, many through corporate work programs. I don't know which culture has this saying. There are two most important days in your life. The first day, the day you're born, right? The number 2 day is when you realize, you only have one life, okay, and you go for it. So, basis that, since 2015, 2017, I've helped so many people. I've taken so many corporate executives, worked with entrepreneurs, young members, retired professionals, people who had tried law of attraction for years and felt it was, broken and a fake way of, just daydreaming. Most of us think like that because ABC. So it was not broken. Law of attraction has never been broken. The In some cases, the frequency underneath was off. That is what we will fix in first 7 days, as we're going to, right? Okay. So not more about me, you know, let's go to, the simple way that I think, most of the things in life are simple, but not easy. If you want to make money from YouTube, it is simple, right? You get to the 4,000 hours, you post regularly, but it's not easy, right? And I need to be honest about something with you, you know, before we go deep into the 7 days of workshop. As I said, law of attraction is simple. It's not easy. These are two different things, honestly. Because, and most people get confused about it. You know, why is it simple? Uh, because the law always works. Like gravity. If I'm holding this glass, if I just drop it, it will go down, right? I don't know the formula of gravity, but I believe in the gravity, right? So you do not have to believe in gravity for it to work, right? You do not have to understand the gravity for it to be working. You step off a you step off a building, gravity happens, right? The glass drops, the gravity happens. Same is with the law of attraction. So all of us are broadcasting a frequency. When I say frequency, your phone, you have a Wi-Fi on your phone. It has 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi connection. So it has a frequency which is being, you can't see it, but it is there, right? So you only notice it when the Wi-Fi is not working or the network is not coming. So each of us as an individual is also on a frequency, consciously or unconsciously, and you attract more of that frequency into your life. Always, always, without an exception, irrespective of what part of the world you are in, you are already vibrating, you're aligning with some frequency, maybe lack, abundance, relationship issue, anything. It is very simple. Just remember that. So it is simple, but why is it not so easy? You know, it is not easy because your subconscious mind runs 95% of your life. 90, when I say 95%, and when I keep referring to the word, because it was programmed before you turned 7 years old, right? Before you, I remember as a child, one day I was writing with my left hand, okay? And I have a faint memory. And my teacher, or I don't know who said it, that write with your right hand. Not, don't use your left hand because, some reason I can't, but I remember. But that's how the programming happened, that we started using the right hand instead of left hand. And what is it? It's the motor skills, right? Because similarly, if all of us wake up, we are half asleep, we walk into the, our washrooms, we pick up a toothpaste and start brushing. And you don't even realize you're doing it with your right hand because that's how you have been programmed. Similarly, your brain does so many things. But if I tell you that tomorrow morning you have to wake up and brush your teeth with your left hand, it is doable, but it will take some effort, right? It is going to be uncomfortable because how you use your angles, everything, right? So that is a prime example that it is not easy because the subconscious mind has been trained in certain ways at the age of 7 years old, before you had any say, before you knew what was happening in the world. You absorbed your parents' relationship with money, your parents' relationship with love, your siblings' relationship with success, money, and love, and with what people like you deserve, right? हमने तो ना अच्छा पैसे पेड़ों पे नहीं उगते, you know. I am not lucky. मेरा कोई काम पहली बार में होता ही नहीं है. So you have been hearing this, subconsciously, or unconsciously. So it's not your fault. And that programming is what runs underneath every affirmation you say, every vision board you make, every positive thought you try to think, because that subconsciously is, is your subconscious mind program. If you keep performing, I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire, I'm a money magnet. But since 7 years old, you have been programmed that paise paid pe nahi ugte, your mind will be conflicted, right? So, and that programming is what runs underneath. So your conscious mind is trying to move forward. That okay, I will do affirmations, I will do 369 technique, I will do 5 into 55, I will do visualization. But your subconscious mind is pulling you back, right? And honestly, it's not your fault. And you were never taught this. ये किसी curriculum में या book में बताया नहीं गया, right? We have been reading Pythagoras theorem, and I'm almost I'm 40 now, and I've never used Pythagoras theorem in my entire life right now, except the ninth standard, right? So it's not your fault. You were never taught this. But let's use these 7 days as a bridge, you know, about not the law itself. You already know the law. You already know law of attraction, hair kuch, right? But the bridge between knowing it and actually living it. So that's the bridge we need to cover in next 7 days. And at least I will do. Okay? Shall we cross it together? Give me a yes or a no. Shall we cross it together in next 7 days? Let's just let go of the older version of ourselves. Let's start a new journey with new positivity. Okay. I have a question, when you think about having a lot of money right now, any of you think about having a lot of money right now. Okay. Does it feel real or does it feel like a dream? Drop R or D, in the chat. Real or dream? Okay. How does it feel? Yeah, I see D also. That's dream. There are no wrong and right answers. Okay. When you think about having a lot of love right now, does it feel real or does it feel like a dream? Okay, wonderful. I see a lot of R's, a lot of D's. So there are no wrong and right answer. The gap honestly, between your answer and R is that subconscious block. Okay. And that is exactly we will dissolve in next 7 days, as we, move forward. Okay. So working with us. All right. This is my favorite part because, I love to share, the success stories of people who I have worked with. And I want to share a story with you. I will not, it's not the real name, uh, you know, but she has given me permission to share this because she said, Gagan, if my story helps one person also, share it with 1,000 people, right? And this happened in 2021. I think, she came to me in 2021, for personal one-to-one counseling. 35-year-old female, single mother, two children, 8-year-old and an 11-year-old kids she had. And she had lost her job, during the COVID time. Most of us went through that. And her savings were completely gone. She was living with her parents, feeling like an absolute failure, you know. And but here is what that struck me when I met her, honestly, for the first time. So she was one of the most spiritually committed people I have ever coached, honestly. She had read, I think, Secret 4 to 5 times. She had done a lot of affirmations. And every single morning for 2 years, she did affirmations and gratitude, right? She had made her vision boards. She had done gratitude journals. She had tried everything. And when I met her, I remember she just looked at me and said, why is law of attraction not working for me, Gagan? What is wrong with me? Why is my life not moving how I wanted to move? What do I need to do more? I just told her, nothing is wrong with you. Because the problem is not your effort, the problem is not your belief. The problem is what your subconscious was programmed to believe about what you deserve. We talked around, good 45 minutes. And in that conversation, not in months, not in years, but in 45 minutes, she was able to identify and things not solve. She was able to identify the exact pattern that she was following. Because she told me that, now Gagan, I realize that her mother always said, people like us don't get lucky, she had heard it thousands of times, maybe before age 7, right? And her subconscious mind had stored it and as an absolute truth about who she was, because people like us don't get lucky. And I gave her one practice, one visualization, gave her a grab a boy protocol, one practice, not 10. Okay. Because you can't be doing so many of it. And I asked her to do it every morning for 21 days. And we kept doing our sessions on weekly basis. And believe me, 3 months later, and I still feel those goosebumps telling this story because, I remember the entire scenario, how broken she was when she came to me, and we worked towards it. And 3 months later, she got a new job, a 40% salary increase in the field that she always wanted. There will be many of us who are doing maybe a job or a business which we do not want to do, right? Because we have to feed a family, we have dreams to take care of. And she was able to manifest a job, a good salary, the work she wanted to do. Her relationship with her mother, uh, which had been broken for so many years, began to heal, because before that she was already blaming her that you did not take care of me. And her 8-year-old daughter came to her one day and said, she said, Mama, you seem so happy. Aaj bade khush lag rahe ho. And she sent me that message at I think 11 p.m. I still remember the day. It was Tuesday. And this is what this work does, right? It does not just change your income. It does not change your circumstances, right? It changes how your children experience you. So she told me later, honestly, that I did not change my circumstances, Gagan, because external world to wait, right? But I changed my frequency. And that is everything. That is what these 7 days can also do to kickstart your journey about aligning with your frequency, right? And if you have ever felt like that woman, you know, like you're doing everything right and nothing is working, drop a, maybe a hands, drop a yes in the chat. Or if you want to add some story in the chat, feel free to share that. If you are doing everything right and nothing is working for you, just let me know in the chat, because all of us think in our heads that we are alone, but we're never alone, and we can build this together. We can build this. None of us has felt how this lady felt, as she was doing everything and nothing is working. Okay. Appreciate the honesty, Sridevi. Yes, I see. I don't know, have the name Galaxy Tab and Zoom user. Okay. Yes, most of us. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for adding into it. Okay. So let me show you exactly what is coming. Okay. Day one is today. Okay. We are doing it right now, and I will share the day one video around 3 p.m. today with the PDF also. So watch the video, do your activity in your own way. We are going to set our intention today, preparing your subconscious mind for the journey ahead. Okay, because that's what is intention. And then tomorrow, 1st of June, and by the way, today 31st May, it's a rare blue moon, and it's the full moon today. And I think in 2 to 3 years, it only happens in once in 2 to 3 years that there are two full moons in the same month. So this is a very auspicious energy days to change your frequency, because full moons are about release. So today you can write a letter to yourself that what do I want to release? I release my self doubt. I release my old patterns. I release the relationships I'm holding. I release the energy which is not helping me. So do that release today. The rituals are already there on my Instagram page. So follow that. Okay. I hope that will help. So today is day one. We'll do the intention setting. And tomorrow, which is 1st June, we will do a gratitude and appreciation. This is where we start our first day of understanding as a day two perspective. 9 a.m. You will get, the video at 9 a.m. every day between 9 to 9:30. You'll get that video in your inbox in WhatsApp group. If you have not joined, just let me know. I'll drop the WhatsApp group link here. So, we will share that 9 a.m. and then you can, watch the video whenever you have time. Okay. The beauty of it is that not every day you have to spare 45 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's advisable. But you can spare those time anytime. And that's the commitment you need to give yourself. Okay. And tell me in chat, I am committed. If you are committed for next 7 days, because we all have excuses. Oh, my child was not well. I had my मेरी maid नहीं आई. मेरे घर पे बिजली की fluctuation थी. ऑफिस में काम बहुत ज्यादा था. If you keep saying this, that okay, we are bigger than our excuses. You can have excuses or you can get committed. Okay, glad. I see a lot of people mentioning that I am committed. Wonderful. Okay, so then day 3, 2nd of June, again 9 to 9:30, you'll get a video in your WhatsApp group, right? The This one is I call the hardest and most powerful day. Why? Because 24 hours of embracing positivity. हम सब लोग बोलते हैं हम पॉजिटिव हैं गगन, कुछ नहीं हो रहा. We're trying. Believe me. Being 24 hours, of positivity, no complaining, no criticism, even including yourself. So that's the most powerful day. You have to challenge yourself, not forcing it, embracing it. You will understand the difference when you do it. Because हम बहुत ये खाने में नमक कम है, इसने मेरे साथ टीम्स कॉल के ऊपर ऐसे बात क्यों करी. So this is all impacting your frequency, the complaints, the negativity. Okay. And then day 4, we will help you create desire list. Most people write the desire list wrong. Honestly, I will show you the exact format that you can use that makes your desires feel real to your subconscious mind. Okay. And then day 4, 5, this is my favorite day, honestly, that we will try and find magic in our daily life. Okay. Because after day 5, I am sure if you're following all these days till day 5, you will never look at coincidences the same way again. When I say coincidences, look, there are billions of people. So many people want to apply law of attraction, but it's not a coincidence that you and I are talking today, at 12 p.m. on Zoom, where rest of the world might be just watching a YouTube video or a Netflix or binge watching because it's Sunday, let's chill, our dreams can wait. No, your subconscious mind, your frequency is always working. Or some people might be in hangover because it was Saturday night, because that's how the frequencies get impacted, right? So day 4 will focus on recognizing magic in our life. And there's so much of magic in our life, you don't even recognize it. You don't have any faintest of ideas कि आप कितने blessed हो, आपके पास कितनी सारी अच्छी चीजें हैं और क्या क्या मैजिक आपकी लाइफ में डेली होता है. Okay. Day 6, we will step into visualization. Not the way you have done it before, कि आपको बैठना है, आंखें बंद करनी है, आगे का विजुलाइज करना है. No. A specific technique that I have used with my 20,000 plus clients through the workshops. And how do we do that from a healing perspective, attracting specific person, manifesting money, manifesting job, foreign travel. You can use it in different ways. Okay. And day 7, the most important day and the most skipped step in law of attraction. Yes, this is the most powerful but most underestimated step because people skip it. Letting go and allowing. Because what we want to do is, okay, I am here, let everything come to me. I'll give you an example. Letting go and allowing is why very important. Imagine you want to buy clothes, right? You bought a lot of clothes, and when you open your almirah, there's no space on it, right? And what do? You finally start picking up, letting go of old clothes, letting go of the clothes that you thought that you will fit in 5 years back, and you're holding on to them. You have to let go and you to allow that new clothes can enter your mind. Very simple example. Similarly, it will work in your law of attraction in your subconscious mind also, because you have to let go. And we will talk about why most people's manifestation fall at the very last moment. आपको लग रहा है बस वो जॉब लेटर आ गया, उस लड़के या लड़की ने हाँ कर दी है, but something went bad, you know. So, and then day 8, which is next Sunday, 7 June, we'll come back together live like this today. We integrate everything. We celebrate the breakthroughs. I'm sure so many of us, I see 25 odd people who are there and people who will be there on the group itself. You will have your breakthroughs, and you can ask me anything uh, during that time. And I will, of course, share something special for everyone who completes this full journey. So it is very simple: 7 days, 8 sessions, one transformation at a time. Okay. So which day are you excited about? Drop the number in the chat, 1 to 7. Which day are you excited about? Let's share it. What day are excited? Day 7. Okay, Shivali says day 7. How about rest of us? Day 3. Okay. 6 and 7, 4 and 7, 7. All the days, wonderful. Okay. I like that energy, Maha. Day 3 and 4. Day 1, all the days, wonderful. Day 2, 4, 5, and 6. Day 3 and 6, 2 and 8. Okay, wonderful. So I think the most popular days are day 4, 6, and 7, and all the days. Thank you, Rajashri, for mentioning that. So I think all the days are important, but yes, how it works is, let me tell you very clearly, how it is going to work as we move forward. Just give me a second. Yes. Okay. So how it is going to work on day-to-day basis is very simple. Every morning, 9 to 9 a.m., I hope you all are in the group. If you're not, just let me know. I'll drop the group chat link here. A message comes directly to your WhatsApp group. You do not need to log into anything. Okay. Maybe, I will pin that video also, and we will only keep the Q&A open between 7 to 8 in the evening. Okay. You don't need to log into anything. You don't need to add any app. You don't need to remember a link. It comes to you. Just open it and begin. Okay. Simple, not complicated. Day 2 to day 7 are recorded sessions. Watch them once, watch them again. You have lifetime access to everything. Okay. Today, day 1, and next Sunday, day 7 June, we are live together. Okay. And you get to ask me questions directly. Send me a WhatsApp, through the group, from the group chat itself, and I will answer the question. Yeah, you'll have to be patient because there's so many people who reach out on certain days and times. So I'll definitely be, happy to assist you guys to help you through this journey. Okay. And so this is rare, use it. And the most important thing for all of you is, each day has one practice, not 10. Each day has one practice, not a list of things to do, one thing. Because the problem with most personal development content is it overwhelms you with options, right? I want to keep it simple. One day, one action, one day, one activity. I don't want to overwhelm you with the information. We're living in a world where everybody goes to ChatGPT, Google Gemini. That's okay, but understand your own frequency. These tools are your enablers. They will not help you identify your energy. They will not help you do visualization for yourself. So when you're overwhelmed, you do nothing. So one thing, do it. That is enough. After 7 days of one thing in a day, you will feel the difference in your own energy, in your own frequency. And honestly, trust the process. Law of attraction is always working. We just have to align. So show up every day. Okay. Even 10 minutes matters every day. Okay. So are we all ready? Are we all excited or not? Okay. So before we move into today's content, which I'll share in the group after around 3 o'clock, you're not here by accident online. I want to tell this to all of you. You're not here by accident. Of the hundreds of things competing for your attention on a Sunday afternoon, if you're in India, you choose to be here. All of you chose to be here, right? And something in you already knows that the next 7 days can change things beautifully. Trust that knowing. And these are, three grabaway codes. I'll share how to use them. But right now, remember, for the entire journey, write them down, please, right now. Okay, I'll explain. The first grabaway code is 318798. It is for abundance and professional success. Okay, you can write it on your non-dominant hand or your wrist. Okay, write it on a journal. I write it on my gratitude journal every day. Okay. The next grabaway code is 520 for money flow. All these numbers have frequencies. जैसे आप कुछ भी chanting करते हो, every word has a spell, every number has a frequency. And the third grabbable code so that you see on the screen is 814, 894, and 190, and that's for relationship and healing. Basis yesterday's yesterday's discussion, right? We understood that this is what we want, most of us want to absorb, right? So start using these today. That you will see, before you sleep, start using 318798 today. Before you sleep, repeat it 7 times in your mind. Okay. And while feeling grateful for what you already have, because the feeling of gratitude changes everything. So not because you have the abundance set, grateful for what you already have, right? If you're not grateful for, what you already have, you'll never have enough. You'll never feel grateful. That feeling is the frequency, and that frequency is what changes everything. Okay, you will have the PDF on the grabaway codes separately. I'll share that in the group. Don't worry about it. Angel numbers will not come me covering here, but they are good signs because let's just focus on the next 7 days on the content that I'm been sharing. Okay, and here is what I want you to do before tomorrow's session. Write down just one thing, just one, the deepest one, the one that resonates with you, the one you have been carrying the longest, the thing you want to shift in the next 7 days. Write it tonight, not a list, one thing. Okay. And tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., just check your WhatsApp. Let us begin with this beautiful journey. And I hope you all are excited. One word, how just tell me, how are you feeling compared to when you joined 45 minutes ago, right? One word, go. Let's look at it in the chat section. How are you feeling compared to how you started around 12 o'clock when you logged in? One word, anything. Okay, positive, hopeful, some clarity, hopeful, relaxed. Okay. Feeling lighter, wonderful. Change my life, hopeful, blissful day, wonderful. This is your frequency right now, friends. This is your frequency right now. Hold this feeling, and this is what you're going to amplify over the next 7 days. Okay. And I hope you all are there in the WhatsApp group. If not, just send me a DM on this number. Save my number so that, drop me a text. I will save your number also so that you don't miss out on any of the information that comes through. Okay. So very simple, just remember your subconscious mind is running 95% of your life, which is programmed before 7. So that's a journey that we're starting right now of awareness, of, filling us with hope, filling us with contentment. And I would like to see some faces, you are such a wonderful audience. Let's get on camera. It'll be good to see faces coming in and to see you all here and maybe, have some look at these beautiful faces coming through. Let's bring on some cameras, because we're going to be working together for next 7 days. Some people are able to join and some people are dropping. Wonderful. Howard Rice, thank you, Nisha, Rajshri, Monica, Vijay, for coming on camera. Thank you, Dhara. How about rest? Doesn't matter. It's your frequency which matters. It's not have you taken shower or not. Have you, are you having coffee or you having lunch while you're watching this video? No, it's about just your frequency. If your frequency is high, everything works out. Okay. While I'm all decked up on the top, I'm wearing shorts because it's summers here in Delhi. So it doesn't matter. It's about the frequency. And good to see some smiling faces. And I'm already very excited for this journey for all of you. And just wait and stay committed. That's all. 7 दिन दो अपने आप को, मुझे मत दो, अपने आप को दो. You know, just look at those videos, just do that one practice every day. And 95% of us who are carrying this with the hope, you will see results coming in. Okay. And I'm sure some people would be already desperate कि मुझे ये करना है, ये achieve करना है, ये achieve करना है. Yes, you can do it all, but let's just make it one by one. It is very simple. जैसे घर का काम करते हैं ना, you know, कि you do one task at a time. आपको किचन भी साफ करनी है, आपको गाड़ी भी धुलवाने जानी है, आपको कपड़े भी धोने, you can't do it at once. So similarly for law of attraction. And believe me, I see my mom, right? Because all of our moms are like that. उनको सब कुछ करना होता है. सुबह उठते हैं, उनको हमारे उठने से पहले get up around 8 o'clock, उनको कपड़े भी धोने हैं, तब तक ब्रेकफास्ट भी बन जाए. And by 11 o'clock, she is exhausted. Why? Because you're giving your energy to so many things. And that's a reflection when we are giving our thoughts and manifestation to too many other things, your energy will get depleted. Your frequency will get low. Okay? So, अगर आपने आज तक इतना पेशेंस रखा है अपनी ड्रीम्स के लिए, अपनी मैनिफेस्टेशंस के लिए, 7 days, let's just start from the beginning. Let's just use these techniques to just get aware. Okay? Some of you will get amazing results, and some of you who may not get results, just fingers crossed, you will have an enlightenment. You will have that moment of reflection कि अच्छा मैं ये गलत कर रहा था या मैं ये गलत कर रही थी, and that's what the starting point is. Okay? Because it is very simple. Example मैं हमेशा देता हूँ, अगर आप दिल्ली से चंडीगढ़ जा रहे हो और आप 25 लोग हो, है ना, आप 25 लोग 25 गाड़ियों में जा रहे हो, अगर आप 1 बजे शुरू करोगे तो सब 5 बजे पहुंच जाओगे? नहीं, right? Because somebody will say, I have an electric car, I have to charge it. Somebody says, I have a kid जिसको हर 1 घंटे बाद रुकना है. Somebody will say, I have an old aging parent. They have motion sickness. So we all are on our journeys in life. Similarly. So we have the same goals in a way. सबके क्या goals होते हैं? ये होते हैं ना, एक घर हो जाए, इतना सारा X amount of money हो जाए, एक इंटरनेशनल ट्रिप हो जाए, बच्चों की पढ़ाई अच्छी हो जाए, अपनी हेल्थ अच्छी हो जाए. ये 5-6 सबके होते हैं, राइट? And that's what the objective of life is. But कोई पहले पहुंचता है, कोई लेट पहुंचता है. And the reason is we are driving our vehicles at our own pace, basis our own circumstances. So do not rush कि वो मेरे से पहले चंडीगढ़ पहुंच गया, उसने मेरे से पहले ब्रेकफास्ट कर लिया, उसने मेरे से पहले लंच कर लिया, उनकी गाड़ी अच्छी क्यों है? So somebody in Alto may reach faster than somebody in BMW, depending on their urgency. So all these materialistic things are just vehicles. Eventually at 60 or 50 or 40, when you realize all we want is peace. To get up in the morning with our family, sipping a cup of coffee, not worrying about too many things. And you can do it right now. This will amplify your energy to manifest everything. Okay? So thank you so much. It's been great talking to all of you. Flow में मैं 45 minutes का 1 hour 5 minutes हो गया. I'm sure you all can feel this energy with me, and I can see this beautiful energy coming from all of you. So 3 p.m. I'll share the first video. Just stay committed, and you will see wonderful results coming in. Okay. If anybody feels stuck, reach out to me 1-to-1. I'll be happy to guide you. Okay. And yet again, we are 140K family on Instagram. Thank you to all of you. It's just been beautiful. So have a great day ahead, and I will see you next Sunday. But yes, don't worry. You are on the right path. Okay. Thank you so much. It's good to see so many beautiful faces. Take care.